Welcome everyone. This is gonna be a commentary video, but it's not the usual type. From now on there will be a mixture of both live stream commentaries and videos where I commented over race replays. I'll try to have a good balance. I'll try to include as much detail as I can. But because Assetto Corsa's replays do not save real-time difference between like where each car is or which lap we are on, there will be times when, if I'm not selecting myself, we don't know which lap we are on and stuff like that. So treat this more like a bit of a mixture of highlights and commentary at the same time. Either way, let's get on with the race and let's jump to the front. So everyone getting ready for the race. We have Laurent in the lead, and off we go for the race at Paul Ricard. With the Renault RS01, the grid gets away. Somewhat relatively clean, but already 3 behind Leonard. Roman in the inside there, goes wide on the exit there, already side by side. With Huntsman, some of the Thunder Crew cars behind them, and one of them does go up on the inside there, and they touch. Multiple cars involved, 2 cars at the sides, and Roman is not happy about that. Let's have an onboard view of what happened here from Martin's perspective here. You can just see the 2 cars made contact there, and Martin, he tried his best to get away and not touch anyone, but unfortunately he slides into his teammate, and unfortunately another Thunder Crew car also crashed into Martin. Diego Augustin is right behind Martin, and behind Augustin is Berdazzini. Still on the first lap. And behind them there is a temporary 3 wide. Between Roy, Tony, and one of the other cars, but I think, yeah, Diego just had enough moment there. And that's me getting by there. It's gonna be a bit confusing here between the 2 cars here, because Diego and Angel both using the same livery, the same default livery. But let's have a look at what happened to Diego. So the car moves up on the inside there, and Diego gets touched. He moves out, slides out, and thankfully nobody hit him. But here I come up on the inside. There was an opportunity, the door was quite open there. And if anything, this was probably the best place to go for it. Road Nile has Tony and Joachim ahead of him. And I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Joachim, but I'm way too used to pronouncing it as Joachim at this point. And there are some contacts behind in the final turn there. Multiple cars involved, and Roman is one of them, who unfortunately gets the short end of the stick. Just ahead of them, the 3 yellow cars of Angel, myself, and Diego. But Jack behind us was side by side with Roman. Red car on the inside, black car on the other side. It was reversed, and unfortunately Roman has to avoid a car that was in the middle of the track there. Angel goes side by side with me on the left side. It's a long straight of Paul Ricard, and it's actually quite fun. I very much enjoyed this section of the track and the upcoming corner with it as well. But the question is, can Angel stay around on the outside? No, he cannot. He bails out of it. I stay ahead. And now we can focus on getting to Diego. Or can we? Angel tries the inside there. They have to stay on the middle of the track there. Here comes Jack on the outside, Angel on the inside. The Ninja sends it up into the corner and just manages to tap me. That allows Jack to go side by side with me. Jack is now on the outside. He'll try to get around me. Outside turns into inside. We go side by side, and unfortunately that's a bit awkward there, but I cannot do much about it. Here comes Angel on the right side now. And into turn 1, it's better off if I let them by. They're still in early stage of the race. A bit further ahead we have Tony and Roy battling for position. Roy holds the inside there. And this allows the others to catch up to them as well. Diego being one of them. But now they go side by side, and Tony has a massive amount of overspeed. Gets ahead without trouble. Makes me wonder if one of them had a slowdown penalty or something like that. Side by side in the behind, because Aurel gets past us. Here comes Angel on the inside, and that's a big dive. I have to do some avoiding, and Roman has no clue what to do there either. He goes around on the outside and I let him by. This is probably the one corner where I have the most amount of disadvantage, because prior to the race there were some questions: which setup should I use? Craig was sharing his setup, but I've decided to use a setup that I've used previously at Okayama. Roman and Angel are going side by side, and into turn 1 Roman gets the position, but he has some trouble over the curves there. Alright, here comes Jack. Let's see if he can get the pass here. Goes by without trouble, side by side already, and up ahead on the straight. These guys had a very good setup for this circuit. They had some hilariously high top speed on this straight. And Jack does go a bit wide there on the entry point. Went over the curbs a bit, but apparently it's still in the limits without trouble. Now he has a look on the inside there, but couldn't do much about it. Tony is still ahead. But Diego does make a mistake there, and so does Roman behind them. But they are still ahead of Joachim, who probably did a mistake somewhere. The main straight, on the back straight, he gets overtaken by Ferry. Side by side into the turn, but yeah, you can tell he's slowed down a lot, and that's gonna allow Roman to drive around on the outside. But they do touch, and that's what sends Roman out. Keep in mind, this race was still at the time where incident points would affect championships, so this series being a daily series, it was not really a good one to have massive incident points. Here we see me taking out the com there, and behind us is Evgeny, while I go side by side with Max there. Max is up on the inside. He's gonna go for the move here. I'm gonna give it to him. He can stay ahead. I know him as a faster driver. However, Joachim ahead of us makes a mistake, and he might lose a place here. Oh, big crash ahead! Tony and I believe Jack involved in it. And from the looks of it, I believe Jack is now back into the pit lane. He got crashed out so hard that he went back to fix the car. So now we have this train here. Here comes Max on the outside. He's gonna go by without problems. Let's look at this line of cars here. Oh, he makes a mistake. He goes wide. This will allow me to stay closer. Unfortunately, Joachim does a mistake there as well. Allows Max to get by. But I'm in trouble as well. Tony is trying to pass me as well. I tried the inside there to stay on the inside, but that's gonna turn into the outside for the last turn. And unfortunately, Tony gets taken out. Let's check this from chase camera. This is Evgeny. So I'm on the left side, Joachim on the inside there. Tony is also on the inside. We go side by side, and unfortunately just close enough to punt him off. Alright, Joachim, we are watching his perspective, or rather what happened behind him in the final turns. So he tries to stay on the inside, and unfortunately I think he may have had a slowdown penalty because he stops right there. It's just one of those weird, awkward situations where unintentionally you box someone in. But unfortunately the nightmare is continuing as Joachim almost loses the car and does a sick drift. A very sick power slide ahead of his teammate. Meanwhile, I continue to kill some cones around the circuit. But now we have Jack ahead, who's one lap down because he came out from the pits. He will also try to, have a race and unlap himself on as many cars as he can. And the first one on the list is gonna be this yellow car ahead of Angel. Two Thunder Crew cars are battling behind. Joachim is gonna stay on the right side while Evgeny sends it up on the left side. They're gonna go side by side for the final turn there on this lap, and Evgeny stays ahead, or would stay ahead. He messes up the exit there a bit, but he still stays ahead. Meanwhile, further ahead, Diego and Ferry are going side by side into the turn, and Diego punts off the other car, black car being stationary. He also messes up the corner after it, so he's now losing a lot of time here. At this point I'm only 3 cars behind him on track. But he's going to go for a move here. And he gets the place to make that 4 cars. And meanwhile, our lane is getting closer to Joachim. I'm realizing I'm mispronouncing probably the names all the time and trying to pronounce it different ways as well, but it just becomes a bit of a mess, so sorry about that. Either way, going over the curves, and Jack makes a mistake, slides the car around, manages to save it, but here I come side by side and up ahead. And now it's Evgeny behind. So I have 2 Thunder Crew cars, 3 Thunder Crew cars right behind me. One of them is 1 lap down, while the other 2 are for position. This could get, and will get, very spicy here, as on the straight here, they're gonna go up on both sides. So Evgeny manages to overtake me, and Jack also stays ahead. Now he goes over the curves and spins around. Gonna lose at least 4 or 5 places here. Annoying SRS probably has the default penalty system on, so either he had to slow down or yep, here he comes and goes. He's not in the pits though, so he essentially gave up on this race, but that's okay for me because that means that's one less car to worry about. I have enough to worry about as Ferry is getting closer behind. Here comes the straight, the place where I struggled the most throughout this race, and it's not going to be different this time around either. Side by side, another place lost. This time around I was able to stay somewhat close. Diego messes up the final turn there. That's gonna allow the other cars to catch up to him. So there's Roy Rodriguez and Evgeny Arkov right behind him, and then we have the left car of Jack there on board with Evgeny, and he almost goes into the back of Roy. Has a look up on the inside. But really can't seem to do much about it. But here comes the back straight. 240, 250, 260, 270 in 7th gear, 280. Just look at that, he's already at 300 and he's gaining a lot on the cars ahead. He already made 1 place. The next car ahead is gonna be Diego, who unfortunately goes a bit wide there. So Evgeny is already in a place where he could attack, but Diego goes defensive a bit on the corner, so he cannot really do much. Unfortunately though, he makes a mistake here, and it's gonna allow Evgeny to get closer. Evgeny already has a look up on the inside and they almost touch. Here comes another look, and they do touch this time around. Both of them colliding multiple times, and this is the opportunity for me. I arrive and go up in the middle like Moses. But there comes Diego, who's not happy about this whatsoever. He just lost plenty of places there. That said, I have a tactic here. Or at least I have a chance. A slight bit of strategy. I'm going to go wide here and let him by, in hopes that I can get the slipstream and get the place back. Because if I stayed ahead, he wouldn't have to worry about me being behind him. Here we go. Final lap, final stretch. I'm hesitating a bit, but moving up to the inside, side by side through the turn, and he's gonna go wide off the track. Still side by side, a bit of slide there, but we are through, and Evgeny is right behind me. Joachim also tries to go for it, but they collide behind. I only have a few corners left from this race, so no mistakes are allowed. I've got a much faster driver behind me, but it will all come down to this one lap, this one corner, this straight right here, and in this case I'm finishing ahead of Evgeny. So here you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a bit different format, but I'd like to do more of this because this way I can keep up with more races.